Hey, how's it going, guys? Garcia here with another portfolio update. So today we are up to $129,141.20. So in this video, I'll break down the portfolio, any moves I made since Friday, because yesterday was a super quick update. I'll share what I posted on Twitter, and I'll give the shoutouts at the end of the video. So if you look here on this page, you'll see that the individual cash has gone up. In general between all three accounts. So you'll see I have around 6,900 in the individual, 2,700 in the Roth IRA, and 72 in the traditional. So I want to keep the cash, especially at these levels. So let's take a look. In the traditional IRA, we're up 2.4% today, up 4% in the past week, 27.8% in the past month, 43.4% in the past 3 months, and 45% year to date and all time. So here, nothing crazy, today's return. Yeah, so TSLA looked like it was the majority of the gains, and it's pretty cool. TSL went up, but not by that much, which means that the covered calls, it looks like some of the premium, it kind of went in the same direction. Usually it's opposite, but hey, I welcome that in this one. Kind of want to stay in that trade as long as possible. Now in this account, I've made some moves since the last time I posted. We're up 4.45% today, up 6.8% in the past week, up 30.5% in the past month, up 27.9% in the last 3 months, 37.5% year to date, and 37.2% in the past year and all time. So we've had a pretty good month. I mean, look at that. So it's been nice to see this account grow. Let's see. Buying power 2,700. Here, what I did. Oh, here it was IWM. So here, go to IWM. Actually, I think I shared it on Twitter, so I'll kind of talk about it more. But yeah, there it is. I paid $651 for this call option a couple days ago, July 12th, and I just sold it today for $1,100. So it's like a $700 gain. What is that? No, it was a 70-something% gain. So I'll take that. In a couple days, I don't want to just watch the gains evaporate. I do want to get better at closing them out. And here so far, total percent change and total percent change. So on the options, I'm getting my ass kicked for the meantime, but I'm just going to stay in the trades. The Celsius $80 call. Looks like Celsius started tanking after buying it. I think I paid like $5.10. So I bought it around here. Or was it around here? Who knows? But hey, Celsius tanked right after, but it's fine. I think in the long run, I think it should recover as long as the fundamentals on Celsius don't break down completely. I think this should still be a profitable trade. And I still have till January 2025, so I have time on my side. Soundhound, it looks like it had a nice rebound today. So it's nice to see that I'm back at break even, basically. And just staying in the trade, writing this up, writing the sentiment up on Soundhound. I have no idea what they do, honestly. This is really just like a lotto pick. You'll see the equity, like $250. All right, now in the big account. The big account was relatively flat because Palantir was flat today. So we're up 0.2% today. And I think Palantir was what? 0.01%. Wow, so we outperformed Palantir by by almost a 20x. Look at that. 20x today. But let's see. So up 0.2% today. Up 3.9% in the past week. 20.9% in the past month. 38.8% in the last 3 months. 48.3% year to date. 20.7% in the past year. And 17.3% all time. So, I mean, it's been an incredible year. I was talking to my wife about this, and it's just absolutely insane to be able to say, oh yeah, in the past month, I've made almost like half. Yeah, because here in Arkansas, like the salaries aren't so high, so we're looking at this and we're like, wow, like this is like almost half of what we're making. At least what I'm making like 40 something thousand, 50 something thousand a year. So to be able to make this much in the past month into the account, I mean, it's a big deal. It's a big deal for us. So I'm just gonna, keep my head down and just keep selling these calls, keep selling puts on Palantir, and keep accumulating shares. So let's see. You'll notice the buying power has shot up to 115 grand, and that is because I sold the cash secured puts. I bought to close them. So the only thing I have left is these covered calls. So let's go to today's return. Yeah, there it is. So Palantir went down by $250 because it was pretty flat, but the covered calls went up by $455 today. So, it's exciting to see that, I'm getting a little breathing room on this. And I hope I'm just going to hold on to this and stay focused as long as Palantir doesn't shoot up above $29. If it gets into the 30s, I'm just going to have to start playing the rolling game at that point. I really don't want to. I would really prefer to see Palantir stay around $28 until August 2nd, and I can close this out for a profit and completely exit covered calls before Palantir's earnings. But if Palantir is running up before earnings, just like it did here, it dropped after earnings because a lot was getting priced in. I think it was like August right here. This was their earnings as well. And then it tanked after their earnings. But here, February 5th, not a lot was getting priced in. Look at that. It was at 1672 right before the earnings, and boom, shot up. So I think it'll play something similar. Like if it keeps running up, then I have a feeling that even if earnings are good, I think a little too much is getting priced in too soon. But if we see some sort of pullback, even to the 26s, I'm just going to close those covered calls at an okay profit. But I would just want to get out of it just in case it's going down towards earnings, and it might shoot back up to like $31, $32, $33 right after earnings. And I would rather just avoid that. Let's see. All right, so I think that's it for this here. Let's take a look at what I've posted on Twitter. It's been a while. Let's see. Scrolling. Man, it's been a while, so I'm just gonna kind of go back. I'm not sure if I showed you guys this one. My son was excited to see me on TV. There it was on YouTube's, on TJ's channel. And my son was watching me on TV. Excited. And here is what I'm starting to share on Twitter every week. It's a lot quicker to talk about the year-to-date and all-time returns because I have to do some like calculation, like what I'm starting with, what I have, and I'm combining all three accounts as well. So here on Twitter, I'm just going to be sharing like the screenshots of year-to-date and all-time returns on each portfolio, whereas you guys get it day by day. You guys get the full return. And I do have to thank, I forgot the username, but someone asked why I don't share all-time and year-to-date returns, and I do thank you for kind of letting me know about that. Let's see. Oh, here, someone had asked, at least you guys entered lower, not higher, so that's a good thing. We were talking about, here he said, people who go all in on a stock like you or Joel, how do you guys deal with huge swings on both directions? Especially Joel, he doesn't even got protection via covered call and cash secured put. And then Steve, when your nuts drag on the concrete, you're just built differently. And he said, at least you guys entered lower, not higher. But what Joel had to say about that is that it's not about entering only lower. It's just about buying relentlessly. Like, look at this. Joel, I gave him props a few weeks ago when Tesla was ripping, because when Tesla was down this year, when people were complaining about Elon and like complaining about Tesla stock, he just grinded. He just, did door dashing. He worked extra hours, and he put every extra penny he could, and he just kept buying stock, buying stock, buying stock, basically DCAing like daily almost. And I kind of realized, holy shit, like I have been like doing something similar with Palantir. Um, Look at this. So starting from August 2023, it's just been nothing but buys. The only sells you'll see was either to buy call options and leverage even higher, or I just needed a little bit extra money to close out a covered call or a cash secured put. But all in all, it was only accumulation, accumulation, accumulation. Just buy, buy, buy. I'm not looking at the date. I wasn't looking at the RSI, what the market sentiment was. I was just focused on getting as many shares as I possibly could. And I think that's the mentality we should have. While everyone's like, wah, Tesla's going to zero, or wah, Palantir's overvalued, I'm like, fuck that. I'm just going to keep buying as many shares as I can. And, and here I put, as retail investors, we have very few advantages over institutional investors. And this is one of them. So as a retail investor, if you really believe in the company, the fundamentals are sound, and you just want to accumulate shares, no one is going to force you to sell your shares besides you. So if you have an emergency fund on the side to weather, short-term storms or whatever, you just keep accumulating over time, over time, over time. Like for me, the beginning of the year, I posted this on January 11th. And I kind of quoted Michael Burry from The Big Short. Is he posted this to his investors, but I kind of changed the words to make it seem like it's me saying it. So I put, as you may know, our agreement allows me to take extraordinary measures when markets aren't functioning properly. I currently have reason to believe the stock market is fraudulent. We will remain long on Palantir and Tesla, so in order to protect investors from this fraudulent market, I've decided to restrict investors' withdrawals until further notice. Sincerely, Garcia, CEO of Garcia Capital. So Michael Burry, and this is in the movie, what's his name? Forgot the actor's name already, but he was he was running this fund, and he had to make the very tough choice that when he was shorting the housing market and the market still kept ripping higher, he was a little too early. He knew all he needed was more time. So as people started complaining, wanting to get their money out, he made the very tough choice. And I don't know if anyone can really do that again without there being massive blowback. And the only reason there wasn't blowback is because he was right at the end. So people got paid handsomely. But if they didn't, if he was wrong for even longer and, legal actions took place, this would have ended very horribly for him. So for me, I looked at the beginning of the year. This was year to date, right? January. This portfolio that is currently $104,000 right now, which is just wild to be saying out loud. Honestly, for me, growing up poor, to be able to say, "Oh yeah, this portfolio went from 62 grand to over 100 grand in less than a year." But to start off the year, I started off on the wrong foot. I was down 11%. My Roth IRA was down 7% year to date, and I thought, I didn't doubt the strategy. I just realized I just need more time. I just need to sit this out and just keep accumulating shares. And look where we are now, So just something, for you guys to know. And something that Bill White did say in the podcast is that it is important for you to be convicted on the right company, because you can have conviction on a company going to zero. You can just be buying shares like this all the way to zero. The stock's going down. Oh, I'm buying. That's why it's important for you to know the fundamentals. What is the major wave that this stock is riding? Like Palantir, fundamentals are going up. It's on the AI wave. The partnerships are increasing. Everything is just pointing up for me. So that's why I have that conviction. So recently with Trump and Biden, the whole attempt over the weekend, here he was talking about, he's revisiting that. So at work the other day, I saw this forklift going by, and when I went to go see who's driving it, nobody was driving it. It was just kind of moving along, picking up an entire pallet, and I was like, what the hell? Like, it was my first time seeing one, and it was a full-size one too. It's just wild to see it. It's kind of, it wasn't FSD, I guess. It's just kind of like programmed to take certain paths, but it's not really making decisions on the fly, but still wild. So your shift key does work. And this was a response to Sam Altman saying, very glad President Trump is safe. So Sam Altman, he is infamous for never using the shift key. Like, this dude, whenever he tweets, oh, look at that. Oh yeah, the only thing he capitalizes is AI, apparently. Because I mean, look at this. Look at this shit. The whole thing. When I right here. So you see he doesn't even capitalize the I's. So that tells you either the dude is like manually backspacing the I's to make sure that it's not capitalized, or he went on his phone to change the settings. It's just wild to me. The only thing trying to kill Joe Biden is old age. Grogu said stairs too. I'm like, come on, man. Sunday Tunes. I would play it, but I think this might get nicked, but screw it.
Right here, fuck around, get the whole label sent up for years, type profile.
And that's it. I don't know if I play it for longer. Who knows what YouTube's gonna do. I thought this was pretty funny. This guy said, hey, Evolution, can I have pattern matching brain? What for? To better spot threats in my environment. Okay, sure. Develop schizophrenia instead. So dumb. So I saw this meme and I got inspired to make this one. Selling my TV for more Palantir shares if anyone is interested. Samsung 50 inches 4K with CEO Alex Cart burnt in for $150. I think the original said for the chop suey guy burnt in, for those looking for the original. So here, this is something I think some people kind of mistook this post, but everybody on X is talking about their PayPal, them being up on PayPal, them being up on SoFi. But so you look at max time, and you see people's averages that they're sharing. Oh, a $5 cost basis. Oh, a $50 cost basis, that yellow line. But look at how high these stocks were, and look at how long these stocks have been above this level. And I'm not saying these people are lying. I'm just telling people to be careful that not everyone is going to be with these gains. The vast majority of people sold at the peak, sold on the way down, sold above these levels, and they sold at a loss. So it's just to be aware of survivorship bias. So this picture is kind of more of a symbol about it. There's a story about warplanes that came back from the war, and they were riddled with bullets, right? So the plane came back, and where you see these red dots, the plane was hit by the wings, it was hit on the tail wings, a bunch of bullet holes. So initially, they thought, well, that means we have to reinforce these areas of the plane because they're coming back and they don't seem to have any holes here, or here. So that means that they're getting hit here. So let's reinforce this area. But then someone else or another, they thought about it more and they realized, oh shit, the reason these planes are coming back is because the ones that got hit here, and here, they just didn't make it. So you don't get to see the results from those planes that got hit here, because when they got hit, they immediately, went down. They blew up. They crashed in the ocean. So you didn't get to see the results to be able to make those adjustments. So then they realized, okay, we need to reinforce the areas where they don't have bullets. The motor, the engine, the cockpit. So for me, it's just a roundabout way of saying there's a lot more losers than there are winners in these two stocks. A lot more. But you're just seeing the winners right now. So just, and honestly, that's the only point that I was making. I wasn't like trashing these stocks as much as I love to trash PayPal, because there's so few people who actually are up on those companies. So there was yesterday's portfolio update. Palantir pumping, you know. I was like, man, slow down, baby. Closed out the $27 cash secured puts for $700 in profit. And that is it. Oh, and here's the post explaining my reasoning on the IWM call. So I sold it for a 73% gain in less than 4 days. And the biggest reason is because the daily RSI is at 79.7, and it looks like the highest level in the last 5 years. So I think IWM will take a breather before it keeps ripping the rest of the year. So I'm not saying this is the top. I think we're just going to see a similar move to what happened here. So this is where we're at now. See here. I think what's going to happen is that we're going to top out around here, and it's going to kind of trade sideways for a couple days, couple weeks. But during that sideways trading, these call options would have been just dropping in value. Theta decay would have been eating at it. And I just would rather just, when I saw the gains, I just realized, look, I'm not going to get too greedy. Yes, it can, go up even higher. But I think during this chop, I might be able to have a better opportunity to re-enter into that trade. I still think IWM is going to close way higher by the end of the year. I think above 250. But it's just me taking profits. And Ruth Capital, he's a pretty fun account on X. This guy, he is hilarious. This guy's always posting. He's an investment analyst based in the Baltics. So this guy is awesome. If you guys don't follow him, you guys should. And he posted, I agree. Lots of names either ripped the following day or after some time, and quite a few hit short-term extensions and price targets. I definitely locked in some of my stuff as well to not overgreed, simply put. Pretty good run, and now only prudent to sell to chasers. So for me, I think that's what it was, that I sold that call to someone chasing IWM because they realized, oh my gosh, 230 by January, it's going to go to the moon by January. But if RSI is so dang high, I just think it might take a breather. So I responded with that, trying to get better at taking profits on trades instead of watching call option gains evaporate. And this mentality for me is only on positions that I took as a trade. Whereas with Palantir shares, I'm not going to be selling shares just because they went up or they're ripping. Like, just because Palantir is up like crazy doesn't mean that I'm going to be selling shares. The only thing I'll be selling is covered calls. That's my way of kind of like taking profits on shares, is just selling covered calls when I think it's a little hot. And for me, I think it's just more of a reflection of my own confidence in my ability to time the top and to be able to buy dips with that same money. I just don't have that confidence. I like the ability to roll if I'm wrong and buy myself more time. So with that, gives a shout out, to everyone here on this list. Thank you guys for supporting me on YouTube and on Twitter, X. So I might be adding some names from Twitter as well here. I might have to turn this into like a three column list. I do want to make this like a longer list. Or maybe I could just do it to where I just do this, where I just kind of like scroll down, kind of keep the list going like that. I might just do that. And with that, I'll end the video. Got a little too long. So thank you guys for your time and for watching the video. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow.